All right, word up, guys. Sorry, not recording at the same spot. But anyways, in today's video, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin, talk about the Phantom junk, and I also want to make a comment on the DFK junk that's going on. In general, I think going forward for the public YouTube channel, I will start sticking down to about 2 videos a week, just some less video time on YouTube. I mean, it's accumulator season. In general, I want to spend most of the time that I'm going to be spending on videos and content specialized in the Discord in general. So just hope you guys can understand that. I'll still be making videos on YouTube, so yeah, I'll still be here. I'm not going anywhere. I love this stuff. It's fun. So the first thing I want to talk about is Bitcoin. But before we get into this video, let's go ahead and say thanks to our sponsors, OKX. They actually have a pretty cool special going on where you actually can potentially win $500 in BTC by getting these random gifts. Like literally, all you have to do is sign up and they're giving away to random people $500 in BTC. All you got to do is sign up. Links in the description below. Make sure you guys check out our sponsor, OKX. This is a chart that I took of Bitcoin, a screenshot of it. And there's a couple of other charts I'll show you in this same Twitter thread. But the first thing I want to show you guys is this. This same exact thing happened back around May. I remember this because I was thinking, I wonder if it's going to be sell in May and go away. And in theory, it actually played out. So it's kind of like, what the snap? This is weird. Now that I'm actually talking about it now, it's probably going to do the complete opposite. So don't even listen to what I'm saying. I'm just showing you a little walk through history. Now, let's show you guys what happened. As you guys can see here, this was like the peak, and this is where we had somewhat of the sell-off around the May time. So obviously it wasn't like exactly face over face, but history does often rhyme. Now, one of the different factors from the past than it is to now, obviously, is the little war that's looming upon us. But still, in 2020, we had the COVID. 2021, we were still recovering from COVID, and we had some supply chain issues start to come up. And 2022, now we have war, supply chain issues, and still a little bit of COVID. What's next? So if you guys look here, this is the second chart. This was in 2021. The first chart I showed you right here, this is in 2021. And I'll zoom into it because this is on KuCoin. But as you guys can see here, this is around where the dump off was, which was in May. We are still in somewhat of this accumulation / consolidation phase. And you can see here, this is the very first chart from 2021, where we had the nice drop off around this time. And then we did our little thing. As you guys can see here, we spread out in an accumulation phase, and then we restarted around July, August timeframe. Now let's show you guys another chart. This was from 2020, which is actually pretty interesting. You guys can see here, back in 2020, the same exact thing occurred. We also dumped in May, and then around July, August time, we took off again. I wonder if it's institutional investors just playing these ways, but time will tell. We'll see what happens. I feel it will be max pain to where if the markets rip, it won't be like a crazy amount. It'll just be enough to liquidate the shorts. And then if we dip, it will be enough to liquidate the longs. So it'll just be the max pain because it's not bullish or bearish. It's max pain is crabbing because you're now liquidating the longs, you're liquidating the shorts, both at the same time. So I just see it as going at a crab market. And then of course we have Bucky. He's saying hey. So yeah, that's Bucky the mascot over at Bucky's in Alabama. But yeah, I was taking a trip to Pisgah Falls in Alabama. It's beautiful, man. Make sure you guys get out some. It's not all about crypto. So in general, this is just like the thoughts on Bitcoin. So now let's talk a little bit about Phantom. This has to do with, I mean, there's a couple of guys talking about this. I mean, there's a guy called Crypto Condom. What the snap? I don't even know why you have that kind of name. But this guy's like, yeah, consider getting your money off of Phantom because it's probably going to crash and it's not going to be very good. Well, it actually took the liquidations really well. It actually is making me more bullish on Phantom the way that it took this. And let me go ahead and show you guys the full thread on what it's on. The TLDR is that there was a massive whale on Phantom, or at least $59 million. Now, this isn't a massive whale, but it's still a guy with a lot of money. And you can see this is the health rate around 1.01. You guys can get a little more insight to see what's going on from Alex Omega's little thread. But basically with this is Alex was talking about what's going on Phantom, and is saying like, look, this guy's about to be liquidated, and if you go on Spooky Swap or Spirit Swap and try to sell that much Phantom, there's like 40% slippage. Well, you don't sell all into USDC. You can actually sell into USDT, you can sell into MEM, you can sell into USDC, obviously, you can sell into DAI. There's different tokens that you can sell into. It's not technically just all the liquidity that's on the chain. You can sell it into other tokens. So that is something that people don't understand, but just want to clarify that. And this is where all the FUD is going around, is around this liquidation. The reason why it's around this liquidation is because what's going on is if this liquidation goes through, or if this happens, this will create a cascading event where someone else who thought they were healthy are now unhealthy, because the Phantom price is going way down, and if someone has a loan against their Phantom token and their collateral health factor, or the collateral value is going down, their health factor is going to go down because the price of Phantom is going down from this liquidation. So you'll have somewhat of a price crash in the Phantom token. Now, they thought this would crash the chain because after you have all these different liquidations, crazy gas fees, and if the gas fees can't go through or the liquidations can't occur, then you're going to have vaults that are underwater. And when you have vaults that are underwater, it's basically no reason to repay the loan, and the lenders are going to be at a loss. The lenders are like the people of USDC, USDT, etc. But that is in general what the case was for Phantom. And there's a lot of people out there FUDing saying it's going to crash. Now, my thought is that they were probably shorting Phantom so they can make a lot of money. And, well, in theory, yeah, they may have hurt their reputation a bit on Twitter, but they made a bunch of money. And unfortunately, that's how it rolls. And if you guys can see, Crypto Condom, like, he's got almost 22,000 followers. He's got a lot of people that follow him. And I'm sure other people were FUDing it as well. I mean, they're just playing the markets, and that's just how it's going to be. Just make sure you guys are careful with something like that. And it's in their incentive to, if they want to make some money, they put out false news and just put false rumors out on Twitter in order to make the markets think, oh no, this is going to be really bad, and cause a cascading event where more and more people are selling their Phantom. And when something like this happens, all they have to simply do is short it on the market, and they can make a ton of money. It's sad, but that's what people do. It is what it is. People these days, what can you say? So, in general, let's talk about Phantom. I'm actually more bullish on Phantom for a couple of reasons, but the first is it took this beating and it's still running. This is actually more bullish for Phantom because it took this stress test. Now you can see that it can take a $59 million deposit or a $59 million loan. It can take that value on there, even with all of the market turmoil that's going on. It's pretty crazy. It's been a fun week. You got BTC going nuts. You got Phantom, this liquidation. You got DFK doing its thing, and Harmony and basically every other project just losing a bunch of TVL. Just another day in crypto. Lots of fun in the markets. So here's some upcoming catalysts I see for Phantom. FUSD unlocking liquidity on Phantom. Normally, your only options with Phantom are either A, you are the guy who's staking your token and securing the network, or B, playing around in DeFi. You cannot do this and this. It was either this or that. That was it. Now, with FUSD, or even liquid staking that is now available, you can have Phantom that is both securing the network and you're still able to participate in DeFi. This is really bullish in my opinion. Now, the next potential catalyst is Forex on the blockchain with Deuce Finance. Forex is super important, and they also have cents that are available. This is really important because you have a fast chain, fast finality, quick transactions, and it's on a DAG that's only going to get faster. And did you guys know that Phantom is actually burning Phantom tokens? Currently, we're over 40 million Phantom tokens burned. That's pretty saucy in my opinion. So lots of different things. And then also another one is the Frax 4 pool. This is basically a free liquidity mining incentive on the Phantom ecosystem because people who want to farm on Curve get UST bribes and rewards. They get the Curve token and potentially some Luna and FXS tokens in the future. They would have to deposit in the Frax 4 pool. It's actually pretty juicy if you ask me. So let's go ahead and talk about this DFK FUD going on. And in general, this is going to be resolved around Frisky Fox. Now there's a couple of points I want to cover, and I'm not going to spend too much time with this, but the main ones is Frisky Fox being an ex-Loot Swap developer. If you didn't know about Loot Swap, they basically rugged a bunch of people. It was not cool. It was a project over on Harmony, and being affiliated with that, it kind of put a salty taste in people's mouth. So that is the very first thing, and you can see it here. This is in little Frisky Fox's little, I guess you can say, response to what's been going on. I do recognize that although intentionally dishonest, yada yada yada, because he was talking about the initial liquidity got to play on Harmony, he never said like, hey, look, I was with Loot Swap. In fact, he kind of beat around the bush, and he's always denied being Master Looter, which is the guy who took all the money on Loot Swap. He was actually Master Blacksmith. This was the guy who helped with coding and Solidity over on Loot Swap. So Frisky was involved with Loot Swap in general and helping it get off the ground. The main concern is that there's no transparency around this, and people didn't know Frisky was affiliated with this project. I mean, with all the FUD going on, and in general with the recent seafood debacle in Wonderland, I mean, having something like this around DFK would have probably made a lot more people worried. But now that it's coming out now, it's making more people even more untrusting from what basically played out with this. And this guy 0x DFK detective actually brought up several interesting points about what's going on, and I'll explain those later in this video. But there were several points that he made in general. These actually summed it up right here. As you can see, Frisky Fox, the ex-Loot Swap developer, Frisky Fox and the rest of the team been selling absurd amounts of jewels since it launched. And yes, you can see that all on the chain, but that's how they're getting paid. I'm fine with devs getting paid, and they're doing an extremely great job. Now, I'm not really going to get into how the pay is, and if they're paying too much, they're paying too little, whatever. I'm not going to get involved with that, nor am I taking sides. But the team members have been receiving over 100K salaries per week paid in Jewel. Now, these are not my words. This is from 0x DFK detective. So I'm just kind of giving you guys a fill-in on what's going on. The other point he is making about the early mining of Jewel, and then obviously not being transparent about who he was as a Loot Swap developer, which were clearly played out in each of his arguments. And this is one of the other things I wanted to leave with you. He claims he's not the Loot Swap developer, but this is what 0x DFK detective pulled up. As you can see here, this is the bridging incident. Every time Frisky Fox cashed out from his Docs wallet, he used the same exact steps every time as the main dev over at Loot Swap, who rugged everyone. This is what was creating all this FUD. Now, Frisky has come out and said, no, I'm not the Loot Swap developer. I'm Master Blacksmith. I'm not the actual guy who rugged and stole the funds. He said he isn't, and he said he is a Master Blacksmith. So until there is further information to prove he is or he isn't, this is what we have to go by. Now, obviously, you can do more research and figure out what it is, and the team is going to be doing that as well. The DFK team also mentioned they're going to use third-party audit services to figure out exactly who it was, to provide proof of who this was, and so on, to build more trust in the community. I really think that's going to be the biggest thing going forward, but now that you guys kind of understand like a backlog and what went on, I agree. This creates a ton of mistrust, and this will need to be rebuilt. But Frisky is not the full DFK team, in my opinion. Yes, they did lose a lot of trust with the community, and it is extremely hard to build that trust when you lose the trust. And I'm not saying they will be able to rebuild the trust with the community and the team, but I think that is the most important step going forward. And in general, I think there are a couple of factors that also kind of hurt and created FUD or stemmed this FUD, starting with the DFK and Frisky Fox. First, it had to do with the market overall, just in general. It was not looking good. The TVL leaving Harmony. That is another factor, also creating more not so good pressure. Crystal taking away from some of the Jewel liquidity. Right now we're in PvP mode because money is not really sloshing around right now. So PvP is going on right now. There's also a lot of profit taking, people selling, so a lot of sell pressure. Massive inflation and unlocks coming right now from the Jewel ecosystem. Other games coming out, some money moving to those other games. So there's a lot of factors to Jewel in general. So people were obviously looking for something. And why is this now being found out? Especially with the initial liquidity wallet that was stemmed off of, that seems to be attached to Frisky Fox, that it was incorrect in the white paper and all kinds of garbage. Why is this being found out now? Well, because this first initially stemmed off of the mining contract that was supposed to be corrected, and it wasn't. And there was people still gaming the system. People were getting way ahead of everyone else with the mined and locked Jewel rewards. So this was also another concern. And people seeing this, they already are starting to lose some trust, so they do some digging. Down on your money, losing trust, so you figure out what's up. And this is where things like this stem out of. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys got a quick insight onto what's going on with Bitcoin, what's going on with Phantom, what's going on with DFK. I'm not trying to spread FUD. I'm not trying to tell anyone to do anything, because apparently if I talk about something, people think I'm telling them to buy it. No, I'm telling you my opinions, my thoughts, and I'm expressing what my opinions are. You don't have to watch these videos. If you don't like my opinions and you don't agree with me, go somewhere else. Or you can watch it and you can express your opinions and explain why. That's the whole point of videos and talking with each other, is so you can express your own opinions, and then usually the one who's able to express their convictions and opinions better be able to share the understanding and the convictions that they have on different projects and teams. So let's go ahead and leave you guys with a wisdom one-liner. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys smash up the like, subscribe to the channel, and we're going to go ahead and hit you guys with that wisdom one-liner. Also, if you guys want to jump in the Discord and see what I'm doing in the markets, there's a link in the description below, and you guys can jump in. Hope to see you guys in there. Proverbs chapter 15, verses 6. The house of righteous contains great treasure, but the income of wicked brings great ruin. That's so true, man. Like, this is a completely random verse, but don't just chase after money just because money is just there, man. It's money doesn't love you. What is money if you have all the money in the world and everyone just hates you? It's kind of dystopian, but don't look for money, man. I mean, money's great. It's fun, whatever, but money can't love you. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you in the next one.